Right now, as I speak, millions and millions of drivers are saving money on their car insurance with GEICO. If you're one of those drivers, well done. If you're not, it's easy to join them. Visit geico.com today.
And now we're going to go to the other side of the ball, and we're going to talk with San Diego State head coach Rocky Long. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So, Coach, we just talked with Bronco Mendenhall, and he says you guys have quite a relationship. This goes back many years.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good friends. I don't know if he thinks we're friends or not, but I think we're pretty good friends.
He did speak very highly of you, by the way.
Well, that's good. That's good. We got to watch out for each other because we both have skeletons in our closets that we might know about. So we better be nice to one another. But, yeah, him and I coached together way back at Oregon State a long time ago. We coached together at New Mexico, and then obviously we've competed against each other a little bit.
Hey, Rocky, Bruce Binkowski, you know, the interesting thing with talking to Bronco, we asked him, well, how do you think the game's going to go since you guys are both defensive coaches and you know each other's defenses and what you're thinking? And he said, well, it could be something like 10-7, could be 50-49. So do you have any predictions? Could it be a close, tight defensive struggle or an offensive show?
Well, see, Bronco, he's giving that coach speak. I don't... I don't make predictions, but he's right. Who knows what's going to happen in a bowl game? But they play great defense at BYU. I think they're ranked third in the country in rush defense. They're in the top 10 in total defense or something like that. So they've been playing really, really good defense. On offense, they're hot and cold. I mean, one day they score 50, the next day they're trying to let their defense win it. We've been kind of steady. I mean, our offense started off pretty good early in the season. The defense has come on here lately, and we're kind of more of a balanced football team.
Coach, tell us about your team this year. You started off a little slow. You were 2-3, and then you have just rolled through the rest of the season. How's the season gone for you from start to finish?
It's kind of what we expected. We knew we were young in the offensive and defensive line, so we knew there was going to be some struggles, and if the two line of scrimmages matured, we were going to have a good football team. I always believed we were going to have a good football team. We just didn't know when. The offensive line matured a lot sooner than the defensive line. As soon as the defensive line started playing better, we started playing better defense, and I think the combination of our offense being able to run the ball and our defense playing a little bit better allowed us to go on that 7-game winning streak. We
are talking with Aztecs head coach Rocky Long. And, Coach, what has surprised you in a good way? What has exceeded your expectations this year with your football team?
Well, I thought I always believed we were going to have a winning record, and I always believed we were going to be in a bowl game and bowl eligible and all those sort of things. But I knew that we had a very, very young football team and a new quarterback. You know, we lost our quarterback to the NFL and lost a running back. I didn't worry about the running back position as much, but I knew we were going to be young and that we were going to struggle some. So I think this team's exceeded my expectations. I think that once we got on a roll, got a little confidence, got a little luck, we started playing like a really good football team. I think we're a pretty good team right now.
You are a pretty good team. And then let's go to the Nevada game when you had the new quarterback comes in and you went for that 2-point conversion at the end of the game to win just one of the most exciting football games of the year. Would you have had any second thoughts if it had gone the other way, or were you pleased that regardless of what would have happened, this was the call you're going to make?
Well, going into the season, I mean, we got some notoriety because I really believe that teams should go for it on fourth down a lot more than they do. I think they should go for 2-point conversions a lot more than they do. So in fall camp, that's the way we practice. We went for every fourth down in practice, and every time we scored a touchdown in practice, we went for a 2-point conversion. So I had no doubts what we were going to do, and I don't think our team did either. Now, obviously, I would have never had second thoughts if it wouldn't have worked, but there was a whole bunch of other people that would have and let me know about it.
Well, you know, Bronco Mendenhall did the same exact thing, and it didn't work, and he was highly criticized by the media, I'm sure. So it worked for you, and so you're a genius.
That's how this game is. If you win, you know what you're doing, and if you lose, you don't know what you're doing. But Bronco is the same coach either way, and so am I. I mean, we're going to coach the guys the same way if we win or lose, but we get a lot more credit when we win, and obviously we get a lot more criticism when we lose.
So, Coach, Bruce and I have worked with many coaches through the years, and each of them treat bowl games differently. And as you now are heading towards December 20th in the game against BYU, do you look at this as more of a reward for your players? Do you look at it as an opportunity to get your program to 10 wins? Do you look at it as you must win this game? And what kind of approach do you take with the team?
Well, first of all, I think we're really excited about staying close to home and now allowing our fans to watch us play. And I think the matchup against BYU, since there's history between the two schools, I don't think you can get a better matchup. And I know the way Bronco coaches, both teams are going to go out there. They're both going to fly around. They're going to have a good time. They're going to knock the heck out of each other. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. Now, I believe that if you've had a good season, now maybe if I was playing for the national championship, I wouldn't believe this, but I think if you're having a good season, it's a reward for your team. It's an ability to make your team better for next year by the number of practices you can give your young players and get them a little bit ahead of the game. The number one goal is to win, obviously, but I thought the most important game of the season is every time we won during the season that the next game was the most important because we were playing for a conference championship. Well, now we've won the conference championship, so it's a reward for the players to go to a bowl game, especially the one here in town, and we know how well they treat us and everything, and it's a great experience. We want to win the game. Don't get me wrong, and we will work really hard to win the game, but it's more of a reward.
Is it kind of difficult, Coach, when you play week after week after week, then all of a sudden you have about a 3 or 4 week gap before the next game? Does that mess up the routine, or is it actually helpful?
I believe it messes up the routine. I thought we had that trouble at Wyoming, too. We had a bye week before we played Wyoming for the conference championship, and we did not play very well in the first half. We were really, really sloppy. And then in the second half, we played more like ourselves, and we were able to win the game. So hopefully we can find a better balance this time around. But both teams are fighting the same problem, so I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch, a very competitive game. There might be a few more mistakes than normal, but that makes it more fun to watch, too.
Well, Coach, we're going to have a lot of people at Qualcomm Stadium on December 20th. Again, we just chatted with the head coach of the Aztecs, Rocky Long. Coach, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot for having us.